Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video we will see how we can create a responsive navigation bar within reactjs. And for that, as you can see, I already created an empty React app. Then the next step is to create a separate component for the navbar. And for that you can right click on this source folder and create another folder and call it components. Then inside this components folder we can create a JavaScript file and call it navbar.js. So this will be our components for the navbar. Inside this navbar.js we can create the body of component, so which will be a function. I'm gonna call it the navbar, and we also need to export it. Then we can go back to the app.js and import this component that we have created. So it was navbar, and we're gonna import it from components and navbar. This app component will return a React fragment, and inside this fragment we can put our navbar like that. So now we can go back to the navbar.js and create our navigation bar. This component will return a header. So this header will be the body of the navigation bar. Inside it we can have a logo. Then we can add the navigation links, and we can put them inside a nav tag. We can have a link to a page called home. Then I'm gonna copy this link. We can have another link to a page called my work. The next one will be blog. The last one will be about me. So then I'm gonna add a button. So this button will be used in a smaller screens to close the navigation bar. Inside this button I'm gonna put an icon, and for the icon we have to install an external library which is called React icons. For that you can open the terminal and type npm install react-icons. When it is installed, we can import two icons. The first one is FA bars, and the second one is FA types, and we will import it from react icons/FA. So this FA at the end stands for font awesome. So these icons are from font awesome icons. Inside this button we can add the FA times. So these icons are actually like usual components that are inside this folder, and we can therefore use them like this. Then we need another button, and we can add them after this nav link. This button will be used to open the navigation bar in a smaller screens. Inside it we can put the FA bars icon, and then I'm gonna start the server and see how the app looks like so far. So as you can see, we have the nav links and we have the buttons with icons, but it doesn't look like a nav bar yet, so we need to add the styling to it. But before that we need to add the functionality to these buttons, and for that we can start by importing the use ref hook from React, and then inside the navbar function we can create a variable called navref and assign it to useRef. So This variable will refer to this nav tag, and to make it work, we have to add the ref attribute and assign it to this navref, like that. So thereafter we can create a function called show navbar, and inside this function we will take this reference navref, we take the current element, and then class list, then we toggle the class responsive nav. So each time this function is called, we will add or remove this class name from the class list of the nav tag. So when this function should be called, we can call them when we click on these buttons. So we can type on click and assign it to show navbar, and we can do the same in this button. So because this button, these two buttons will not be shown at the same time together, so the first time when we are in a smaller screen, this button will be shown, and when we click on it, this class list, this class name will be added to this class list of nav tag, and then this nav tag will take the whole screen, so we will no longer see this button, and the only button will be this button that will be shown. And by clicking on it, this class name will be removed from the class list of the nav tag, and by removing it, the navbar will be disappeared from the page. Now to make this navbar working, we have just one more step to do, and it is to adding the styling part. For that, first I'm gonna add some classes to these buttons. So we can set the class name for this button to nav-button, and also nav close button. You can copy this and also paste it for this button, but you have to remove this nav close button. So now we can add a new folder inside the source folder and name it as styles. So we can add, we can put our CSS file inside it. We can create a new file and call it main.css. And here first we need to import a new font, and for that you can go to the Google font page and search for a Titanium. You can actually use which font you want, but I'm gonna just choose this one as example. So I'm gonna select this one and this one and then this one. Then we can copy the import part and paste it at the top of the CSS file. Then we can give a default styling to the all elements. We can give them a padding of 0. We can set the margin to 0. We can set the box sizing to border box, and then you can go to the back to this page and copy this font family line and paste it here, so all the elements will have same font family. Then we can add some CSS variables. We will have a main color, actually I have them here, so I can copy the colors and paste them just. So we will have a main color lighter. For this one you can copy the main color and just make it a bit lighter. So then we can add another one and call it the secondary color. For this I'm gonna copy it and paste it, so it will be a red color, and the last one will be the text color. So this will be the default color for the texts. So now we can style the header part or header tag, and we can set the display to flex. We can set the align items to center, justify content to the space between. The height will be 80 pixels. Then the padding will be for from the top and the bottom it will be 0, but from the side sides it will be 2 rem. Then the background color will be same as the background color. It will be same as the main color variable. So, and then we can change the text color to the text color variable. So then we can style the nav links. We can give them a margin. So we will just give them a margin from sides, and it will be also 2 rem. I don't know if I pronounce it right, rem or rem. So I'm just calling it rem. Then we give a color, and it will be the text color. Then the text decoration will be decoration. It will be none. Then on a mouse hover, we can change the color to secondary color. So now we can style the nav buttons. We can give it a padding of 5 pixel. We can set the cursor to pointer. So we can set the background, or it should be just background. So it will be transparent. Then we can set the border to none, outline to none. So we're removing borders and outline. Then the color will be text color. The visibility will be hidden, and the opacity will be 0. So I'm putting the visibility and the opacity to 0. So actually visibility is hidden and just opacity is 0, because we don't want these buttons at the larger screens. So by default the buttons will not be visible. For the responsive part, we can add a media rule, and media only screen and here we can change it to max width. The max width will be 1024 pixel. So this means that these stylings inside this brackets will be will be run when the screen size is smaller than or equal to this size. So here we can change the nav button styles. We can make them visible, and we can do it by changing the visibility to visible and opacity to 1. So then we can change the styling of the nav tag, because now we want that the nav tag will cover the whole page. For that, we can set the position to fixed. We can set the distance from top to 0, from left to 0, and we set the height to 100%, and also the width will be 100%. Display will be flex, and then line items will be center, justify, content will be center. So this part will center all the links. So then we can add a gap between links. Then we can set the background color, and it will be same as the main color. We can set the transition to 1 second, and then we can transform so, and it will be minus 100 VH. So by default, this nav tag hasn't any class inside it, so it will be transform minus 100 VH. It means that same as the height of the screen. So this means that it will not be shown in the page, and this transition make it this transformation a bit smoother. Then when we want to this navigation will be shown, we can add the class responsive nav, and here we can set the transform to the none. So this will cancel this transformation and bring it back to the screen. So, and we can also change the, so right now if I just look the page first, can close this one and run it. Oh, we have to add this CSS file first. We can import it. We can it will be at the styles folder, and it will be the main CSS. So now if I open it, so as you can see, now we have the navbar, and if I make it a bit smaller, first we need to make this button a bit bigger, and so here we also need to change the direction, the flex direction, and move this button at the top right. So for that, first we need to change the flex direction to column. So, and to make this nav buttons bigger, we can type nav close button first, but to make it bigger we can do it actually here. at this nav button, so it will apply to the both buttons. We can set the font size to it or 1.8 rem. So, and then we need to move this close button here at the top right. So for that we can set the position absolute, then the top distance will be 2 rem, and the right distance will be 2 rem as well. Then we can set the nav links font size to 1.5 maybe rem. So we make the links text bigger as well. So if I open it now, so as you can see now we have them, and if I click on it, it will be closed. So that means that this will be the end of this video. So now we have a responsive navbar. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful for you. If you had any questions or any problem, you can leave it in a comment section below, so I'm gonna try to answer them. So see you in another video.